So, welcome to Beauty of Colors podcast, Brent. It's great to have you on the show.
I am really glad to be here. Thanks.
You're very welcome. So, tell us a little bit about you and what started you on this journey in helping people change their mindset.
Well, I started out as a little overweight kid in Ohio, and I started out as a magician. A little kid I was an only child. So I started doing magic tricks when I was really young, 5, 6 years old. And one day I went to the library. I was taking out a magic book, like always, but I ended up getting somebody had put there on the shelf by mistake a book called The Magic of Believing. And it was all about the mind and the power of belief. And even as a little kid, I knew, wow, there's something here. There's something bigger than what I realized. So I started reading up on these things. I'm very, very young, like I said, 7, 8, 9 years old. But everything I have ever come up against in life, drinking, smoking, cancer, all of those things, I realized were mindset things. I mean, it's the way you're thinking about it. It's a perception. So really, when I was 19, I went on the road as a speaker, as an entertainer. That's what I've been doing ever since. The last few years, though, instead of teaching millionaires and celebrities and sports stars, which is what I normally do, I've been teaching everyone else, regular people, because there's really people like you and me and everyone else who needs this. It's not people that have nannies and business managers and people to do everything for them. So the last 2 years, that's what I've been doing. Every podcast, every radio show, lots of TV, just getting the word out there, that there is so much more that we can do if we can harness our mindset.
Wow, sounds great. So what would you say is the perfect mindset? And does that apply to everyone?
Well, no, I mean, the perfect mindset is whatever works for you in your particular situation. But the best mindset to have is one where you're not caring what other people are thinking. You're not worried about doing something for, a lot of people are in careers because it's what their dad wanted them to do, or their mom, or they're not even living their own dream. My dad wanted me to be a lawyer. And I mean, you're going to make a lot of money. You know how to argue. I mean, but that's not my dream. That wasn't what I wanted to do. And he disowned me when I left, I left home finally. And I just had to follow, my own path. But the right mindset is to first understand there's a voice that talks inside your head, right? All the time. It's narrating your life, and it's usually telling you how horrible you are, how it's never going to work out for you, how you did this in the past. So you have to kind of become aware. Awareness is the first step to mindset, because as soon as you're aware what that voice is saying, the power goes away. Because a lot of people think it's the voice of God, it's the voice of the future, it's some sort of voice I have to listen to, but that's not what it is. So again, awareness, I tell people, very first thing, just become aware what's going on in your head. Every once in a while during the day, pick up have a pad with you and stop and write down what's on your mind at that moment. And you'll realize 80% of the time it's negative, because that's humans. 80% of their time, it's all about negative things I wish I could have done in the past, or things I'm worried about in the future. So awareness is really the first key to mindset.
So would you say, Brent, that affirmations would be something that would help somebody in getting this mindset?
Absolutely. Because think about this, wherever you are now, whoever's listening, right? Wherever you are in the spot that you want to get out of, you got there because of something you were doing over and over and over, repetition. So repetition of the wrong things usually gets us to where we don't want to be. It's going to take some repetition of the right things. And a lot of people, they're telling themselves, I hate my life. Why am I so unlucky? This sucks, that sucks. You're affirming this by saying it. And the worst affirmations you can make are the ones to yourself. When you're saying you're not good enough, you're too fat, you're too ugly, you're too old, you're too poor, whatever. So yes, affirmations, I mean, at the beginning, you may have to because your brain's not going to believe this right away, right? So you've got to start doing things like affirmations just to trick your brain into start moving the way you want it to.
Okay, well said. So you have worked with Joan Rivers, Dionne Warwick, and other famous people in Hollywood. How is that different from working with somebody who is not famous?
Well, a lot of my work I did with celebrities, I did as an opening act. I would go on and open before their shows in Vegas and that sort of thing. I've worked with a lot of celebrities. I've always found out the celebrities that are famous for being mean, like Joan Rivers, who's a very caustic comedian, Don
Mhm.
Rickles. Those are always the really nice ones in real life, and it's
Mhm.
usually the other way around. Celebrities, though, when I started working with them, they all understood mind power. Joan Rivers had read The Magic of Believing many times, and
Mhm.
I met other people, same thing. Successful people understand, okay, you've got so much life force energy that you have, right? And so if you're using it to hold all these things inside that you don't want and you're afraid of, and your ex-boyfriend and girlfriend and all of that, when you get rid of something like that, that energy returns to you, and then they focus it where it matters. And people like Kobe Bryant, takes
Mhm.
that energy, focus, takes the energy, focus. That's how you do it. So people that are celebrities, they usually have a lot of people working for them. So again, they're in a position where they can do a lot more mind work because they don't have a lot of the everyday things that we have to do. They don't have to go out and grocery shop usually and get gas for the car and take care of the kids. They don't have to do that, but they do understand that it's a mindset game.
So, how are you different from other mindset mentors?
Well, I think because I'm not really pushing a program, or I'm not pushing anything. Most people are trying to push you into some kind of teaching thing. What
Mhm.
I'm doing is saying, look, I've done this for 30 years. I've gone all over the world. I've worked with the most successful people. I've worked with, everyday people. Now I'm kind of retiring. I mean, I'm at the point where I don't need to do it anymore. And so I'm kind of just teaching people. So I think that's the difference. I really want this information out there because I think if people understand it, it not only will change their life, but their children. You can stop a whole generational trauma line with yourself if you make this decision to start working on your mindset. The people around you will see it and they'll be inspired by it, and you'll be able to change everything. So that's kind of, I think that's the thing that differentiates me, is that I'm not trying to, I'm only going to tell you this much and then you got to buy the rest of it. So I'm just doing them for free just to get people to know. I think it's how we change the world. Is
Yep.
really, we're in a bad place, right? So for every person that does this,
Mhm.
the universal consciousness, the consciousness of everyone, because there's consciousness that we have, like our individual, but then there's the universal consciousness, which is everyone.
Mhm.
So the more people that become awakened, the better that universal consciousness is going to be, instead of being so like war and fighting and struggle and lack and so many bad things. The more people that can change that, the better we're going to be.
So, you talked about transformative learning. What is that?
Well, I do a lot of live events and I do seminars. I think for the type of, if somebody really wants to immerse into this. Now, I know a lot of people want to do a little bit at a time, but I have a lot of people that come and say, look, I'm ready. I want to go completely into this. So I think I think the live events do that, because I think you've got to be, it's not the same online, because you can say, oh, I'll watch this later, I'll pause this, but when you're in a room and it's happening in real time, the people around you are transforming and changing, and it's kind of happening by osmosis for you. So I think there's a huge difference between, doing something like this and teaching online, and then trying to do it in person is always so much better.
So, it's not a step-by-step process.
No, I mean, but you can start anywhere, and any progress is success, because some people have go their entire lives and they don't realize there's anything else. It's like they're in a tunnel their whole life. They're born, they go through, they drop out, it's over. So again, just becoming aware. Yeah, there's a voice that's talking. I don't have to listen to it. Maybe you label people. Maybe I know people that they just label everyone. They meet somebody and this person's a bitch, this person's a drunk, they meet them one time, and in your mind you kind of do that. So little things like that you can start. A great tip I tell people: get a Post-it notepad, draw a flower on it, or a happy face, or a heart, or something. Put it on your mirror, on your fridge, on your wall, behind your desk, whatever. Whenever you see it, just remember to become aware, come into the moment, because we spend about 40% of the time in the past every day. So we're in the past, we're thinking, oh my God, I wish I would have done this and I could have done that. And if I'd done this, this wouldn't have happened, right? We're doing all these scenarios. Or we're spending 40% of our time worried about the future. This is going to happen. Oh my God, I'm not going to do this. What does that mean? That means 20% of the time we're in the present moment. 20% is it. So because of that, you can't do anything, because the past is over. The future's not here. When the past was happening, it was the present. When the future happens, it will be the present. So this is the moment. Nobody gets it. It's like, I don't like this moment. I want the next one. You know, it's always the next moment. And when people think the payoff is later, it's like that forever. Happiness will always elude you because it's never where you are. It's always slightly ahead of you. It's like you're making a cup of coffee. I don't want this moment. I want to drink the coffee. I want the next moment. So it's always that. We're always waiting for that moment. So, you know, when you see the Post-it note, you see the heart, just become aware, become in the now. And as soon as you see it, it'll happen automatically. You'll be forced to be present because now your mind's going to stop. As soon as you think, oh, I'm supposed to be present, boom, you'll be present.
This is what you just said there. This is so, I don't know how to describe it, but a lot of people actually think that way, that they're in the past. They really think about the past a lot. That's why sometimes they're in this daydreaming, you know, days that they're thinking about the past. But would you say that if we think about what we want in life, like if we can picture what we want in life, would that be a little bit better than staying in the past?
Oh, yeah, you've nailed it exactly. Here's what I tell people. The past is great for, okay, I need to remember something that's going to help me right now. So I'll go into my memory bank, right, and pull that out. But I don't need to be thinking about the birthday party when I was 4 years old and I peed my pants or whatever, right? I don't need to be thinking about my ex-girlfriend. I don't need to be thinking about any of that. So that's useless, because one thing I want to explain is, it's like you tie your emotions to your thoughts is what we do. So you break up with someone and you don't want to work through it. So now every time you think of them or see a car that looks like theirs or hear a voice like theirs, all the feeling comes rushing back because you haven't worked through it.
We do think about like what we want in life, things that we focus on one in life. Would that erase that the past that we have, the negative past that we're kind of contemplating every time on it? If we have this vision that we're thinking of, okay, this is what I want and this is what I want. If we focus more on that, would that lead us more towards a positive mindset?
I do want to tell you, I always tell people this, I didn't tell you at the beginning, my mind works. So I may go off on another, like I just did, because I love somebody like you who knows what you're talking about and you understand what's going on. But I'll usually circle back to it. But yes, because what happens is I do this every morning. I do it every night. You have to visualize the life that you want, because without a goal, you're never, that's the problem with things like the law of attraction and The Secret and those things. The power of that is real. The problem is people think, okay, I'm going to sit on my sofa and I'm going to daydream and wish for a Ferrari and that's going to be in the driveway. That's not, they're missing the action step that follows it. Okay. But in order to attain what it is you want, in order to become the person you want, you have to start acting like that person, thinking like that person. So absolutely, the past is over, and the future that you're worried about, like, am I going to get this raise? Is this going to happen? Is this person going to leave me? That stuff you can let go, because again, you can't control that. There's nothing you can do about that. So, but the future that you want is what you want to get in your mind. And again, you're standing in line at the bank, do it then. Take 10 seconds, see yourself. And the most important thing is you have to feel it. It doesn't matter what it looks like, what it sounds like, none of that. Because some people can visualize, some people have to hear, some different ways, right? The only thing that works is to feel it. So if you see yourself in front of a mansion carrying a bouquet of thousands of dollars in a limo or whatever, feel it. How are you going to feel when that happens? Man, you're going to be happy, right? So feel it, because the feeling creates it. It brings you more. The more you're positive and the more you're striving for your goals, the universe kind of makes that happen. It's like negative people that are so negative. What happens? More and more negativity. I have an aunt who's the most negative person. You've never met anyone like her, right? This woman goes through the car wash. Somehow the window comes down. The soap fills the car. Everything she does is some sort of negative fiasco, because she lives in negativity like 24/7. And so she just keeps bringing more of it. And people like that are so afraid of change, they're more comfortable in that negative, scenario, because they know what that's like.
That is so true. So tell us a little bit about your book, and where can the listeners get a copy of it and get in touch with you?
If you want a copy of my book, it's 5 Steps to the Perfect Mindset. We wrote a short book because what it is, it's the 5 things you need to know if you haven't got started and you want to. It's the 5 things that'll jumpstart you now, and it's free. You just go to successsecrets.net. That's the website. You can download a free copy right away. The great thing about that too is it'll get you on my mailing list. It'll get you an invite to my private Facebook community, and it'll kind of get you in where we are to help you, because we have so many members that have been to my events or have worked with me. And so even if I'm not in there every day, there are people, thousands of people. We have, almost 10,000 people. So that's the way to do it. Successsecrets.net, nothing to buy, free book, and get a copy. And we'd love to have you as a member in our community.
Sounds good. So do you have any workshops or any seminars coming up soon?
What I'm doing, my mom goes in for back surgery on Tuesday. So I've taken kind of a month off for that. So I'm here in Ohio. But after that, I'm actually working cruises. I just got back from Japan, New Zealand, Alaska. So I'm going again on cruises, I think in October. So I've taken a little bit of time off, but then starting in the fall, if you go to brentwebb.com, that's my main website, any kind of big event like that, I'll post.
So any last words that you would like to leave with the listeners on helping them along their journey in life?
It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what you weigh. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter your sex. It doesn't matter your color, your nothing. Those are all things you've created in your mind. If you were lucky enough to be brought up with parents and a family that were supportive and that nurtured your dreams, which is very rare, then you're okay. But for people that listen to all that negativity, we're programmed during the first 10 years of our life. So anything you heard but from 10 and under, that's what's in your mind now. So anytime you're on autopilot, which is 80% of the day, that is the old tape that's running, the tape you made when you were a child. So think about it. Who wants that? Who wants to be working with something that was created when you were 7 years old? You weren't mature. So just know, it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, you can do this. And all it takes is to bring awareness to it and to spend some time for yourself. Take some time out of your day, sit, meditate, pray, whatever it is you need. But you've got to take care of yourself first. Parents and all, you have so much, and you're taking care of your kids and you're taking care of your parents. And no, you got to spend a little bit of time out of every day for you, and it'll really start to change things.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you for being on Beauty of Colors podcast.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much.